Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, dear teachers. My name is Yulia Chorna. I'm from Great Education Center, Kyiv, Ukraine. Could you please let me know if you can hear me well and if you can see me well by typing plus in the chat box? All right. Hi, everyone. Good. Sounds great. All right. So we've gathered here for a webinar for English teachers with two wonderful speakers who are also the academic directors at Great Education Center, Olena Bochkareva and Rehoop. Hello, guys.
Hello, everyone.
Haven't seen you for a long time. It's great that we can meet on webinars and on such wonderful sessions. All right. Today we are going to talk about how teachers can act during the crisis, how to survive during the crisis. But before we actually start, I would like to know where our participants watch us from. So could you please type the name of the place you're in now? Lviv. From Great. Oh, hello, Ruslan. Great. Ternopil. Oh, this is my hometown. Hello. Great to see people from Ternopil. Zakarpattia, Poland, Slovyansk, Dnipro. Wow. That's great. Almaty. Dnipro. All right. So, before we actually start, a few things I would like to tell about the webinar and how it's going to work today. So Olena and Alena are going to have a session with you for around 60 minutes, and they're going to share their practical tips and their experience and some useful information with you. And of course, all those participants who have registered will receive their certificates. I know that all of you want some certificates, and you will receive them in the follow-up emails together with the recording of this webinar and with the materials from Olena and Alena, probably tonight or tomorrow, like by the end of this week. And please make sure that you check the spam folder in your emails, and because these emails usually drop there. All right, I will return to you after the session because I also have some important information for all the teachers, and not only teachers, I think, are watching us now. And I'm giving the floor to Olena and Alena, and I wish you to have an exciting and fruitful session today.
All right. Thank you, Yulia.
Thank you, Yulia, so much. Great.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So hi, everyone. And before we start, Alena and I would like to ask you to type in the chat box whether you work for a language school or whether you are a freelance teacher, to better know your teaching context.
Language school, good. University. Right, by the way, if you work for a university, just type it. Language school. University, right, Natalia? Wow, there are so many of you from language schools. That's very nice.
Okay.
Right. Any freelance teachers?
Yeah, we seem to have some freelance teachers. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Thank you very much. Okay, so Lena, let's get the ball rolling, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you can see from the title slide, we are going to talk today about the ways for ELT professionals not to waste the crisis. So Alena, over to you.
Right. So today we will talk about what makes a teacher a competitive professional in the ELT market. Then we will look through 3 types of support here. when we will be talking about how a language school can contribute to your competitiveness in the ELT market. We will talk about methodological support, support to provide with opportunities, and financial support. And finally, we will look at the ways how to develop business and promote teachers' development in the time of crisis. Of course, all the examples will be based on the example of Great Education Center. All right. So since the beginning of war, many teachers have decided to go abroad, and to look for different ways to work, to study, to develop professionally. Have you noticed this tendency, Lena?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I have noticed that. And well, it's true that many teachers continue working in Ukraine and with Ukrainian students online and face-to-face as well. But many others, due to the current circumstances, were forced to move abroad, and they jump from one position to another in international language schools, looking for better teaching opportunities in European country, not only European country. So we can see that the place of living has changed, and people had to start teaching online full-time, but they still require qualifications like CELTA in order to be competitive.
Right. And in order to be competitive, not only in Ukraine, but also in Europe, our teachers, first of all, need to work hard, and then think about qualifications that, for example, native speakers do not have, again, in order to compete. So my question is, are international qualifications in demand these days, or nobody cares?
Well, I would say they are in demand. Definitely the answer would be yes. And this is due to the reasons that, like as Alona mentioned, we are not native speakers and we have to be competitive, and we need to work hard to compete in, like, we need to stand out.
Right. Okay, next slide, Lena. So in the chat box, we would like to know your opinion concerning this question. What is important for an English teacher to be competitive? Write your ideas, please. Anything that you think is vital for an English teacher to have. Motivation, right, good. Qualification, professional approach to teaching, good, Svetlana, agree.
Yeah, experience, yeah, that's a nice point.
Right, knowledge, pronunciation, good. Anything else?
Experience, good. Oh, rapport, nice, Olga, that's a good point.
Determination. Yeah, personal qualities are important. Skills, yeah, but we'll talk about skills today, Daria, right? Thank you very much.
Oh, certificates. Nice.
Yeah,
right.
Irina, well done. Knowing the market and the competitors, this is vital, this is important. Yeah, so in order to be competitive, thank you for your answers, in order to be competitive in the ELT market, or at least to find work, teaching abroad, every teacher must think, first of all, about two things. The first one, this is a certificate on methodology.
Yeah, and in this case, we can talk about such well-known teachers' qualifications as CELTA, all three modules of Delta, and the modules that TKT comprises. That's the first core modules, and also WILE and CLIL module.
And secondly, the language certificate.
Absolutely. Yeah, and here we can talk about such international tests as IELTS and TOEFL, and for example, we can talk about Cambridge exams that prove the language proficiency, such as C1 advanced and C2 proficiency.
Yeah, agree with you, Lena. Just remember that one day, sooner or later, a teacher should transform from a good teacher to a good teacher with qualifications. And being a qualified teacher is good, but being a qualified teacher with a range of teaching abilities, with a range of teaching repertoire, gives also a great advantage. But what does it mean to be a teacher with a range of teaching abilities? Please write your answers in the chat box. Any ideas?
Yeah, if we talk about this repertoire or teacher's toolbox, what do we mean by that?
Right. Teaching methods. So teaching abilities, teaching repertoire.
Ah, I see a nice point about teaching to a range of students, different students. 6 solutions, nice.
Positive approach, good. Hard, soft skills, exactly. And in terms of groups, so teaching repertoire, in terms of teaching groups, age groups, think about any other examples that might be suitable to the concept of teaching repertoire.
Okay. Interesting. Speakers of different languages.
Right. Ability.
Oh, mixed levels, ability to work with different levels. That's a nice idea.
Okay. Right. ESP, LAT.
Great.
Okay. So any other ideas? Just some flexibility and adaptability, right? Okay, so if we're talking about teaching repertoire, first of all, we mean, then the next slide, please. Yeah, that the teacher can teach different age groups. So here we can talk about young learners, which covers kids, preteens, teens, adults, right? Classes with specific needs, dyslexia classes, group classes instead of teaching only one-to-one classes, business English exam classes also, right? But all those skills will not appear overnight. I mean, such skills as teaching group classes, for example. We need to develop them. We need to develop our skills. But what is a skill? How can it be developed? Let's compare teaching skills with driving skills. So what is a skill? A skill is an ability to do something. Driving skills are abilities to drive a car. Teaching skills, both hard skills and soft skills, are abilities to present the language, to monitor your students, to give them feedback on their progress, and so on and so forth. Of course, some teaching skills can come naturally, while others may require development with practice. Teaching skills, as well as driving skills, should be developed continuously and constantly. What does it mean? For example, you have received your driving license and you know how to drive a car. But if you drive only from your house to Silpo, does it mean that you can actually drive well? Well, maybe from your house to Silpo, yes, unless you start doing it in different places, unless you start driving on Yaroslavlval, Andriivsky Uzvis, Krещатик, driving in sleet, rain, snow, and thus acquiring, developing new skills. The same works with teaching qualifications. Once a person completes SALTA and gets such a desired certificate, known as driving license, but continues working with one-to-one classes, does the person develop the teaching skills? Again, with one-to-one classes, maybe yes, but not in other circumstances. So completing CELTA never harms. Take this opportunity if you want and can. But remember that your experience after CELTA matters a lot. After CELTA or any other qualifications, the experience matters a lot. It should be related to the knowledge you have received. It should be relevant.
Yeah, absolutely. And I see some comments here in the box about the importance of practice, about lifelong training. Yeah, absolutely right. So that's the point that we are trying to make here. And thus, just to continue what Alona has just mentioned, I'd like to ask you another question. So do international teaching qualifications guarantee 100% a successful career? Like, does it mean that once you have received the international teaching qualification, boom, so you will be provided with the dream of with the job of your dream? Yeah, so type your ideas in the tool in the chat box.
I wish it did.
Good.
Right.
All right. Yeah, exactly. It does help. They do help, but okay, only hard work can guarantee the career rate. Okay.
Very nice ideas. Go on.
Right. Okay. Yeah, we completely agree with your ideas. And it's true that, well, the answer is definitely no. And we see, just a second, the same as university diploma, getting doesn't ensure great career. It's only the starting point, and what we do with the knowledge and skills is important. Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with you. From our perspective, we see two major reasons for why obtaining qualifications does not guarantee a successful career. So first reason is the lack of correlation between qualifications that you have received and real teaching experience. Let's imagine the situation that a teacher has obtained the YL qualification that enables him or her to teach young learners. But the teacher continues working with adult classes. Does his qualification work? Well, unfortunately, no. Or let's say the teacher has obtained a CELTA qualification, which teaches how to work with groups as well. However, the teacher continues doing one-to-one classes. So again, there is a kind of gap between the real experience and qualifications. Right. And another reason why qualifications, again, do not always work is the lack or absence of continuous professional development and, what's important, observations from more experienced mentors. Because in such a way, the teacher does not know where to develop and what to improve in let's say, his or her teaching. And yeah, unfortunately, we have to state that if the teacher stops developing further professionally, they're frozen in their development.
Yeah. And by the way, Elena, it reminds me of the story about the drill. A drill, right? When we buy a drill, what do we buy it for? Do we just need it to lie on the table? No, we are interested in the results of its work. Yeah, holes in the wall. So the same story with international teaching qualifications, CELTA, Delta, and any other qualifications. Do we just need them to be written in our CV? Well, this is a great advantage, of course. Yeah, being authorized by Cambridge University is one of the attractive reasons that encourages every ambitious teacher to follow the CELTA course. But practically speaking, just to have a qualification written in your CV is not enough. Just to have a drill line on the table is not enough.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, while talking about the reasons that actually prevent the qualifications from actually working effectively for you, one of them was the lack of professional development or absence of professional development. Of course, you can tell me, how can we continue develop professionally under current conditions when there is a war in my country, or I have to work abroad, or I had to move abroad, or there are constant blackouts and the internet connection is unstable. Yeah, I would agree with you here. That's really hard. And I know that many teachers, unfortunately, have to even reject the idea of taking a SALTA course where which requires full attendance, for example, and they're not able to take part in input sessions or doing teaching practice. However, there are ways how can we still continue developing professionally. And we would like to present you one of them. That's the products developed by Great Education Center. That's Great University, and it's an innovative online self-study platform for ELT professionals. It offers a range of courses, and a great advantage, first, it's the range of courses that you can choose. Secondly, it's the fact that here you can work at your own pace, and it's not risky, it's more manageable, and the access to the platform is not limited once you buy it. And if you have some emergencies, a blackout, unstable internet connection, you can just postpone and do it later, right? And what's more, there are different types of courses. There are micro courses known as teaching credentials. There is a video library, a blog with interesting articles connected with the how to teach different aspects. And we would like to show you just some courses. Of course, we have many more, but as you can see, even from these courses, teachers who work in different directions may find them interesting. Those who work with young learners, those who do exam preparation courses, or let's say those, like you can find some more information about how to teach effectively online. So it doesn't matter whether you are a novice teacher or you're an expert teacher, you will find something that suits your needs and wants, right? And so that's a great, like, one of the options, one of the possibilities how to develop professionally, even in the time of the, let's say, crisis and the time of blackouts. So that's real beneficial for everyone, right? Okay.
And probably talking about next slide, right, Lena? This is about IELTS.
Yeah, that's so we were talking about the kind of professional development, right? That it's really important to polish your skills, and another way how you can be competitive, how you can stand out, that's expanding your teaching repertoire. That's about trying to take and conduct the courses that you have never done before. For example, we can talk about, let's say, exam preparation classes. Many teachers, can be scared and they have some reservations about how to conduct this kind of classes. But you might discover that this is something that you can do well, or at least you can use this experience to take the exam yourself, for example. So our advice is try something that's out of your comfort zone. Just keep broadening your professional horizons and expanding your teaching repertoire. So in such a way, you have like all chances to be a competitive teacher in the job market. And again, remember, we are not native speakers, and we need to have something to be special, to stand out. And the varied teaching repertoire, the possibility to work in different teaching contexts can help us a lot to be attractive to our potential employers.
Right, and get more money.
Yeah, absolutely, right. Okay.
And well, there are so many ways to develop professionally. And Lena, by the way, there is one more tendency that I have also noticed. Many teachers nowadays decide to become freelance teachers and work for themselves rather than for the company.
Right.
Of course, it offers flexibility because you can teach whenever, whatever, wherever you want, right? But does it mean that such teachers have enough support to develop professionally?
To be honest, I have some doubts here. So you might disagree with me, but the thing is that, like, I recall my experience of working as a freelance teacher. And I remember that apart from actually being the teacher, I had to be a marketing specialist, so to say, to promote and, let's say, advertise myself in order to find and attract new students. I had to, to find new students somewhere and to keep my current students. Like, I never had this constant workload. And yeah, Alona, what you mentioned about the professional development, unfortunately, I had to care of that myself. I had to find the courses, I had to pay for them myself. And I had to reflect myself on the lessons to think where to develop further. And at times, I can say I felt lonely because there was no one to share my ideas with. So actually, many of these were the reasons like why I decided to start working for a language school, basically.
Yeah, I see your point, Lena. Being a freelance teacher does not always give you a possibility to develop a wide range of teaching repertoire, first of all, yeah. So that is why this is a good idea to join a language school that can provide the teacher with the repertoire and different types of support. And today we will talk about 3 types of support that I have already mentioned. Yeah, the first methodological support,
Right.
then support to provide with opportunities, and finally financial support.
Yeah.
So Lena, over to you about methodological support.
Yeah. So I'd like to yeah, I'm just reading the comments about people sharing their ideas about moving online and attending, and the possibilities that their schools provide to them. That's nice. Thank you for sharing your stories. Right. And that's really interesting. So as Alona mentioned, the first type of support that the language school can provide is the methodological support. And I will kind of base my information on the example and the practices that we have here at Great Education Center. We will share with you how things work and are organized here. Okay, so what kind of methodological support can we offer our teachers? First, we have such a tradition to organize so-called professional development days, or in short, they're called PDDs. And they happen once a month in most cases. And these are basically workshops or webinars. They used to be face-to-face events. Now we have moved online. And so they are conducted and presented by our more experienced colleagues. And such workshops are dedicated to some really important topics, for example, where to find context to teach grammar and vocabulary, or how to keep your students motivated and engaged, how to give feedback to the exam tasks of your students, and so on. So the teachers who participate have a possibility to be equipped with very, very practical tools and techniques that they can basically use straight away in their teaching practice. So that's a great possibility to learn something new and develop professionally. Then another direction in the methodological support are in-house trainings and induction sessions. So what kind of trainings can we offer? So that depends on the emergent needs our teachers have. For example, recently several teachers have addressed us with the question of how to teach beginners, because they have some doubts, they're not so confident about that. And we decided to conduct such a training for our teachers and help them and give some practical advice on how to teach, let's say, beginners. Or this can be a training session about how to teach your teenager students, how to prepare your teenage students for exams, let's say. Induction sessions take place at the beginning of every academic year. That's usually the end of August or beginning of September. And all teachers take part in such sessions, and their main aim is to standardize and to streamline all the processes that take place in the company and in the school, and to keep our teachers updated with what's new, what's hot and new, what has changed, right? So that we are all on the same page. And of course, our new teachers who have just, let's say, joined the team are updated on how things work in the company, how to work with different programs, and in general, how the work is organized. And we have one more type of methodological support, which is especially beneficial for our novice teachers. That's mentorship, mentoring, and onboarding. So that is the system when our senior colleagues, more experienced teachers, help their novice colleagues with helping to plan their lessons, let's say, or helping them to teach certain aspects. They observe the lessons and help and discuss the action points of where to develop further, right? But apart from observing, apart from giving this kind of methodological tips, let's say, and ways of improving their teaching, they also help our novice colleagues to become members of the team. So that's really important, so that the fresh teachers know whom to address if they need to find out something, and if they have some questions, right? Okay, so that was kind of methodological support in brief. Yeah, and next I'd like to move on to the next type of support, let's say, that support with opportunities, because here we care about the teachers' development and their development paths. And teachers can be offered wider opportunities than just conducting their lessons. So teachers can be offered to conduct speaking clubs or grammar clubs that we organize at the weekends. What's more, teachers can be offered to write articles and content for blogs and help our marketing department. Teachers can be even offered to do some administrative work. So if we see that there are some promising teachers, they can be more developed as teacher trainers, or maybe involved in teacher training events, let's say, in projects. And apart from that, you probably know that Great Education Center is also the largest Cambridge exam center in the region. And we hope we will keep this status even after the war. So our teachers even have opportunities to become international speaking examiners, right? Okay.
So different roles, right, Lena?
Absolutely.
To develop professionally. And of course, we need to remember about teacher burnout, because being a teacher is exhausting mentally and physically. And sometimes a simple change in job responsibilities within the company can be a way out of this situation. Just what we need is an understanding that there are many, many, many opportunities to develop within a company, and be ready to broaden our horizons, be ready to get out of our comfort zone. Right. And finally, the financial support. So unlike, we will talk about financial support with John and Mary. All right. So unlike public schools, in private schools, the commitment, the contribution and the work of teachers are financially rewarded, are financially paid. For example, there are two teachers, John and Mary, who do the same amount of work. John teaches 54 hours a month. Mary teaches the same number of teaching hours, with the difference that Mary cares about students' retention, encourages students to enroll to the next course, gives feedback on their performance, So Mary cares about everything that is outside the class. So who is more likely to be praised and noticed by the company? Mary, right? So teacher Mary will be praised. Such teachers will be paid by the company. The business has mechanisms to see that and to praise such teachers. For example, as for the mechanisms, so it can be feedback forms completed by students. It can be the ways how the teacher handles technical issues, for example, caused by blackouts, even responding to emails to those department or to the managers gives a bigger picture with this. So there is always a chance to earn more within the company through performance-based bonuses and salary reviews.
Right, absolutely, absolutely.
Right.
And so we have mentioned three major types of support that the language school can provide their teachers with, like methodological support, more opportunities, and of course financial, the last but not least. However, there are many other advantages to be a part of a language school. Right, so let's talk about this. Okay, first, the most practical for me personally, for example, that's being provided and guaranteed with the workload. Because if you are a freelance teacher, you have to find the new students yourself. You have to work as the marketing specialist. You need to advertise and promote your educational service. You need to be the client care manager and solve and discuss the different organizational issues with the students. You even have to be an IT specialist if you have to deal with certain software and programs, and if there are some, let's say, bugs in the laptop or problems with the internet connection, like ultimately it's you who has to solve these problems. But the language school, for example, here at Great, we have other departments apart from teachers who can help with all these issues, like marketing departments to promote you, and like client care managers who discuss all the issues, and let's say developers. Then working for a language school, the teacher can have a more structured working environment. Here you don't need to worry about the material selection, the selection of course book, let's say, and other additional materials. So you should not worry about the lesson, course syllabus and the tests. They're all developed by the academic department, right? And even some logistics and like some logistics can be handled, and so the teacher will be avoided. The teacher can avoid like solving some problems which can be done by means of the academic department or client care department. Right. Apart from that, yeah, we can talk about yeah, the advantage of having group classes. So when we talk about the context of one-to-one teachers, freelance teachers, they mainly have one-to-one classes. However, having the workload of group classes may have more advantages. First of all, the more students you have in your groups, the more news they will spread about you and your teaching experience, and the more people will know you, and as a result, the more potential students you will have. And if we look at this issue from the financial side, then it's clear if your one-to-one, if the student cannot attend the lesson, like your one-to-one lesson, it will be cancelled. You will not earn anything. However, if we talk about the group lesson and one or two students cannot make it, you will still be paid for the lesson. So that's a great advantage. And again, getting back to the expanding, the expansion of teaching repertoire. So the teacher who is able and who has experience of teaching groups is a more desirable candidate and has more competitive advantage in the job market compared to those teachers who can do only one-to-one classes, right? And there is one more important positive aspect of working for a language school, and I know many freelance teachers really miss it. That's being in the community, being a part of the community, right? And so what does it mean for us to be in the community of teachers, right? So that's actually the possibility of being engaged in social life, you know, attending our lectures, corporate events, so you can see mini concerts and even the cooking party, picnics and so on. And it's just nice to be in the company of like-minded people who share the same opinions, the same problems, the same ideas. And if you, let's say, have the group of the same level, you will find someone to discuss the problems that you have with the group. So, for example, I remember the situation when I had to teach C1 level to my teenagers, and the course was really challenging. And I felt really frustrated. And then a bright idea occurred to me. I decided to talk to my colleagues who had the same, who had to teach the same level, and we shared the ideas. We even cooperated, and we developed different tasks and shared these tasks. And we discussed how to cope with different problems. And that was really nice. And so I felt that I'm not alone. I have some other colleagues who can support me, and that was great. Like the being in the company of like-minded people who share the same ideas, the same values, and the same standards is really great. And by the way, talking about standards, I mentioned that when you work for a language school, you are in the company with people who share the same standards. So all the schools that are important game players in the market should have clear standards, not just rules of work that both teachers and students value. Oh, I'm sorry, just I saw the comment that's really nice, that sharing is caring. Yeah, Thais, absolutely agree with you here. Right, so getting back to standards, not rules. What does that mean to us? I'll give you a short example. Let's imagine such a procedure as responding to emails. And let's imagine that we ask our teachers to respond to emails quickly. Quickly is not clear to everyone. For someone, quickly means 5 minutes. For someone, for another person, it may be an hour, or for some people, it can be the whole day. So, when we have like the standards which are not clear to everyone, we unfortunately cannot work effectively. However, if we encourage everybody to, let's say, answer emails within 12 hours, so then it is clear that that's the standard, and everybody is on the same page, so to say. And therefore, in order to create clear standards to be shared by everyone, like any other well-established company, we have designed the course, the handbook, right? And I'm going to show some parts of it. So you can see here the second. So that's the only part of the contents page. And as you can see, we have included some very standard procedures, for example, how to conduct the first class of the course, or how to organize online tests, or, for example, how to make the substitution effective if you have to be absent and you cannot conduct the class. So how to make sure that everything runs really, really smoothly. And we have written very clear instructions. For example, what to do if there are missing students, how to conduct catch-up lessons, if that's individual or group catch-up class, and how our colleagues can professional development, because we pay a lot of attention to professional development, and I discuss it with our colleagues, right? So basically, we truly believe that the company that has clear standards, like shared standards, the company that has the system approach is likely to survive in the times of crisis rather than others. That's our firm belief.
Yeah, go along with Juliana here. And by the way, all those benefits and standards, yeah, that a good language school, yeah, can provide teachers with are important. However, we should remember about the values, which are essential for every business to survive the crisis as well. So think about the example of the values that you, that you think are vital, yeah, for the company to survive, and share your ideas in the chat box. I will share with you the first value that we find crucial. Yeah. This is transparency in communication. So the communication should be open. It must be open in every possible situation, no matter how challenging and uncomfortable it may seem. So any other ideas of values, please, in the chat box.
Yeah, feel free to share what you think.
Flexibility, supporting teachers. Well done. Good point. So any other values? Being professional, a nice point. What about respect? Mental health? Caring about mental health, right? Keep motivation. Support, Adriana, thank you. So Daria, I think you're talking about support as well. Good. Very interesting ideas. Self-development. All right. So here are the values we find vital, yeah, to survive in a crisis. Thank you. Look through them. Some of those values you have already mentioned in the chat box. Thank you for that. So only the companies who are flexible, loyal, where the working and learning environment is fulfilling and positive, where the level of support is higher than the level of rivalry, which in fact destroys the company as it ruins the healthy working environment, can survive the crisis. Right. And finally, remember that the aim of the company is help people to reach their full potential within the company, find their place and role in the company. And here at Great Education Center, everyone does what they can really do well, and thus contributing to a better overall outcome. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. Good.
Thank you for participating.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's basically all from us. Now it's time for questions. So feel free to ask the questions if you have any.
Oh, thank you very much, Olana and Alona. I would add from myself, like if you allow me. So Olana and Alona are the people who hire teachers for Great Education Center, actually, and who conduct interviews and who hunt for CVs. So you can ask any type of questions that you might be interested in. For example, when you apply for a job at Great Education Center or any other company, I think they will be glad to share with you. Today, we revealed some secrets and we showed you some insights to our company's life. If you have any questions about this, you can ask them too. So we are waiting for your questions in the chat box. Mm-hmm.
Julia, I think there was one question about international exams.
Yeah, there was a question and we have one more. Okay, so there was a question about international exams in Ukraine. If to talk about Cambridge exams, unfortunately, they are not, Cambridge didn't allow us to conduct the exams on the territory of Ukraine right now because this is the question of safety. And we really hope that we will be able to renew those services as soon as possible. I've also shared the link with you where you can take IELTS online in Ukraine. It's already there in the chat. And we have, all right, we have one more question. Have the hiring procedures changed in the circumstances of crisis? And which candidates will get more benefits now? That's for you guys.
Candidates who adore what they are doing, who are very motivated ones, and who are ready to work as part of our team.
Right, and since as if you mean the procedure itself, I mean how the hiring takes place, well, we can't say that it has changed a lot in the time of the crisis. We still have job interview and we still ask our candidates to organize a short mini demo lesson, let's say, to show how they deliver the lesson. Yeah, so this hasn't changed. And yeah, as Alona said, so our standards as for the candidates in terms of their dedication, commitment, knowledge has not changed, definitely.
Yeah, I can confirm that. We have one more question for you. I will talk about the recording of the webinar a bit later. When you apply for a job, you are often asked to make a video about yourself. Can you give some tips? By the way, this is a very popular option in Southeast Asia because, for example, when I applied for a job in China or in Thailand, I also had to make the introductory video. So can you give some tips?
Well, talking about our situation, that's not a must, definitely. So it's enough to send just CV for us to have a look at your qualifications and experience, and yeah, to find out some more information. But talking about the tips, yeah, so just probably just select the most important information about you that reveals something about your experience and education. I would say be natural, stay positive to produce a good impression on your potential employer, right? Yeah, Yulia, maybe anything else that you can think of?
I can give some tips on applying for a job in Asia, for example, because the video usually has to be short, like up to 1 minute, and usually you
30
have
seconds.
yes.
Right.
Yeah, and you usually have to talk to tell some interesting information about yourself, probably your hobby and why you would love to have this job. So it has to be as friendly as possible. And as if to talk about Chinese or Thai employers, they really love these things and they really work there. All right, we have one more question from. I don't know who this person is, but AP, all right. You mentioned the demo lesson. What do you look at when observing a demo lesson? Oh, that's a good question.
So basically what we do pay attention to, so this is the possibility for the candidate to demonstrate the language. Yeah, so we pay attention to the language, like kind of accuracy, let's say. We look generally at the presence, right, and teacher's presence. And then, yeah, we pay attention to the teaching techniques. Yeah, for example, let's say instructions, whether they are concise, clear to the students, right? So, and some other like structure of the lesson, so some other methodological things that are important.
Right, and remember that at such demo lessons, learning should happen. Just remember this, right? It's not about mechanical teaching, it's about teaching students.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah,
right.
Thank you very much, girls. We have one more question from Daria. Does grade provide a teacher with an opportunity to prepare students for exams, even if the teacher doesn't hold the exam certificate? And one more question is about some short courses to take within grade before that. That's what I'm going to talk about a bit late. All right. So do we provide a teacher with an opportunity to prepare students for exam, even if the teacher doesn't hold the exam certificate?
Actually, no, we don't do that. And this is a kind of requirement for the teacher who would like to conduct exam preparation courses. They have to take the exam themselves, first of all. And also we have certain requirements. Let's say if we talk about IELTS, so the overall band should be no less than 8, for example. Or again, if that's CAE, C1 advanced exam, again, it should be bands, so grades A and B, right? And apart from holding actually this language certificate, the teachers are offered also the special training, and it's our in-house training where we teach how teachers can conduct the exam preparation class so that they comply with all the standards that we have here, right? So, and
yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, and another part of the question is if there are any short courses to take within grade before that. So actually, if to talk about short courses from grade, we have Cambridge products and we have our own products. Like we have, if you are interested in, for example, preparing students for a certain exam, on Grade University platform, grade.university, we have 2 courses which prepare a teacher to teach for exams, for IELTS and for CAE and CPE. They are both courses on teaching writing for these exams, developed by our trainers Andriy Piharev and Chris Rees. So you can visit our platform, grade.university, and there are short courses. They are self-study, they are fully online, and you can try a demo of this course, and you can actually see if you love that and if it fits your needs. If to talk about other courses, we have TKT preparation courses, modules 1, 2, 3, and YL. And on Grade University, we have a lot of different courses, not only on exam preparation, we have courses on different skills, on how to prepare for CELTA. And for example, we have a course on TBL, task-based learning, and many others. So if you are interested, they are short from 4 to 32 hours. They are fully online, and that's what we actually offer for teachers before doing that. All right. Any other questions from our audience? Yeah, I guess we have no questions. So thank you very much, Olena and Alena, for this wonderful session, for these insights. I hope teachers will find them useful. And yeah, if you allow me, I would share my presentation because I have some important information for the teachers. Yeah, thank you very much. All right, there was a question about presentation and about the recording. You will receive them after the webinar. probably tomorrow. I'm not sure if we can do it tonight, but tomorrow you will receive them. And don't forget your email on and the spam folder because it usually drops there. We have some more questions. No? All right. I would like to invite you to our next series of webinars for English teachers. If you are teaching young learners, we are going to have a webinar on the 1st of March by Olena Lesetsa about teaching grammar to young learners, which is going to be very interesting. Olena is a very well-known CELTA trainer and the IHCYLT trainer. She is also the TKTYL course trainer at Great Education Center. And this is going to be a very practical and a very interesting webinar for those who teach young learners. And we have one more free webinar in March, on the 9th of March, on teaching listening and reading skills using authentic materials by Mariam Kazimova. She's a very nice teacher at Great Education Center, and she is a very skilled user of different authentic resources, and she will share her tips on how to use them for teaching teenagers and adults. And this is going to be on the 9th of March. You can scan the QR code to register for the webinar too. And in March, we also have a workshop on exam writing. So if you are preparing your students for B1 or B2 exams, and you would like to know how to develop their writing skills for exams, we are going to run the workshop on this on the 23rd of March. And the Lydia Simak is going to share her tips with you too. We have a video library at Grade University, and today's webinar is going to be there. So, for example, if you didn't register for the webinar and you joined us from Instagram or Facebook, because we shared the link there, and you would like to watch it again, you can scan the QR code and go to our video library. It's going to be there in a few hours. And if you are a registered participant, of course, you will receive the recording on your email. And thank you very much for joining us today. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Yeah, if you have any questions, please contact us. My name is Julia Chorna, a Great Education Marketing Specialist. My email is yc@grade.ua.
And send me your CVs, please.
Yeah, yeah. And can I ask? Okay, Olena and Alena, do we still hire teachers?
Right, we are always hiring teachers.
I'm going to share, like, if you're interested in working at Great Education Center, I'm going to share our email. It's hr@grade.ua. It's in the chat box, and you can send your CVs there.
And send me your CV in my Telegram, on my Telegram, just Alona Trigup, it was on the slide. I don't know if it's possible to read on the slide.
Yeah, just a second. I'll share our.
Right. Send it to me on Telegram and that's it. No worries about sending emails.
Yeah, here it goes.
Right.
Okay, I will share your nickname there, Alona Trigup on Telegram too. Yeah. All right. So now you know the people who are reading your CVs, who are conducting interviews and watching your demo lessons. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful evening. I hope you have a lot of things to think about after today's webinar, and see you at our upcoming events. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye.